Hello everybody, and welcome to my tutorial where I'm going to show you how to run a PostgreSQL database using Docker. So, firstly, you're going to have Docker installed on your machine, and after you install Docker, you're going to have access to the Docker command. So now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull the PostgreSQL image locally to our machine. So we're going to pull it from Docker Hub. And a way to do that is by using the docker pull command. So the command is going to be docker pull, and then we just specify Postgres. So this is going to pull the Docker image locally to our machine so that we can actually use it. Now, if you have configured Docker to require sudo, you might have to run the command like this with sudo in front. And that's how I have it actually configured. So keep in mind about that. Now, I'm not going to run the command right now because I already have it. I already ran it before, but you're going to have to run this command. After this command finishes, you're going to have the PostgreSQL image locally on your machine, and you're going to be able to use it to create containers. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I will paste here the other command that's going to be used to actually run or to start the container that we want to create right now. And I'm going to explain the command right now. So what does this command do? Firstly, I have sudo here because that's how I have it configured to require sudo in front. And then I have Docker. So we're calling Docker, the Docker command, and then we're specifying run. Run means that we're going to be running a container right now. And then -- name, this specifies the name of the container. As you can see here, I have tutorial Postgres. So this is going to be the name of the actual container that we're going to be running right now. -p is the actual port. So what we're doing here, we're mapping the port 5432 to a local 5432. So Docker has a virtual network, and the PostgreSQL database is gonna run inside Docker, inside the virtual network on port 5432. And what we're doing here is we're mapping that 5432 to our local, here on our local machine, to our actual network on the local machine to port 5432. That's what's happening right there. Now, this option here, Postgres user, this is a variable, Postgres user, that's equal to Postgres. This is the actual user that's going to get created in the container, in the actual database. Now, also we have another option here, Postgres password. This is the actual password for that user. And as you can see, it's equal to Postgres. And these are the actual credentials that we're going to use later to connect to it. Now, as you can see right here, we have the option -d. What does this mean? This is the actual image. This is what image we want to use. This is how we specify what image we want to use to create this container from. And this is the actual image that we just actually pulled before with the docker pull command. Now I'm going to click enter here, and it's probably going to ask for my sudo password, or it didn't because I already had it ran before the sudo password, so it didn't really ask me for a sudo password. But as you can see, the container right now, we got this ID here, and actually what's happening right now, the container is running. So we do have the actual container running. And now what I can do, I'm going to be able to connect to this database right now. So I'm going to come to dbeaver, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a connection here. dbeaver is a database manager, and we can use dbeaver to connect to a database and manage the database. So I'm going to come down here to the PostgreSQL database here, and I'm going to click next, and we're just going to add the credentials. So the host is going to be localhost, the port is going to be 5432 because we're mapping from 5432 to 5432 to our local. The database is going to be Postgres, the username is going to be Postgres, this is this username here, and the password is going to be Postgres, this is this password right here. So I'm just going to specify the password right there, and I'm going to click test connection, and it should be successful. And as you can see, it was successful, and I'm just going to click finish right here, and it's going to add the connection right here, as you can see. So we do have the connection. As you can see, we have the green check mark there, so that means that we are running, and we have the database. Now let's say you want to stop the database. So if you want to stop the database, all you have to do is you have to do sudo docker stop, and then you just have to specify the name of the container. In this case, this is going to be tutorial Postgres. So if I do this command, sudo docker stop tutorial Postgres, if I click enter, that's going to stop the actual container. So if I try to disconnect here, and if I try to connect again, as you can see, it's going to say connection refused. So it cannot connect, it's not running anymore. But let's try to start it. So how do you start it? You can use the same command, but instead of stop right here, all you have to do is start. And that's going to start the Docker container. And we just specify the name, obviously, on the right. If I do this, this is going to run the Docker container. It's going to start the Docker container. And if I try to connect right now, it's going to be successful. As you can see, we're getting the green check mark and we are connected. So that's going to be all for this video. I hope you learned something new. And see you until the next one.